Gamers need to keep these companies accountable for their actions. They do. The PlayStation 5 specs just released, and as I was looking at the specs, going into this generation, I really want us gamers, the gaming community, to take these companies accountable for their actions. Because obviously, we didn't do that in the 8th generation. You could see that with many different games, many different situations that happened. Something I'd like to remind people is that we are the lifeblood of these companies. They have to cater to us and our needs and wants and gaming experiences. So if they try to do us wrong, then we should screw them over by voting with our wallet. The 8th generation of gaming was overall fine, but there were a lot of jacked up situations that happened, and they were mostly our fault. Like some of the trends, like, with microtransactions and stuff, we could have stopped that. But because fanboys just buy that crap, we're buying that crap. In the 7th generation of consoles with the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3, we got games like Star Wars Battlefront 2 that tried to screw us over. And not only that, with the 8th generation of consoles, especially during the beginning, we had games being shipped broken, we had games being shipped buggy, we had games being shipped incomplete, we had content on the disc that we couldn't access without going online to download the rest of it, or having to buy the rest of the daggone game. That's ridiculous. But because gamers in the 7th generation bought crap like that, like Marvel vs. Capcom 3, where they had characters on the disc that were on your physical disc, and you had to pay for them. You had to pay like $2-3 for each character. It was ridiculous. Not a lot of people bought that, but people still, there are still people who bought it, and that's ridiculous. But it wasn't just the games that was wrong with the 8th generation as a whole. It was really the consoles as well. Look at Nintendo. Nintendo came out with the Wii U. It was the first console in the 8th generation. And while the tablet was a cool idea, they didn't really have any online games, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But the online games they did have, the online was crap, so people really couldn't play online because they don't have dedicated servers for like almost any other games, which is ridiculous. And the Wii U itself didn't even have any real features. It didn't have a web browser. It didn't have party chat. No in-game messaging. It didn't have these basic features that the 7th generation consoles had. Now I understand people say, oh, Nintendo is for kids. No, I don't want to hear that freaking argument anymore. Nintendo is not for kids. Well, it's more oriented toward a younger, family-friendly audience. Yes, that's true. But Nintendo cannot stop people from doing jacked up stuff on their platform. That's just a fact. Look at all of the Xbox 360 Minecraft trolling videos that came out in the 7th generation. Look at all of those videos. Microsoft didn't do anything, and they know they couldn't do anything. So I think Nintendo needs to really realize that. And us gamers need to tell Nintendo, but then they add these features onto the Switch, because even the Switch doesn't have some of this stuff. Now, the PS4, when it first came out, there really wasn't too many issues. The PlayStation Network, that had some real issues, getting DDoS by Lizard Squad, if you guys remember that crap. Getting DDoS on Christmas Day, and I couldn't play online for like a week and a half. So, Xbox users, they had a little bit less time. But it was really a sad situation with the PlayStation Online. You know, we're paying for online now, so I expect the service to be better. So we need to call Sony out for that. And when the PlayStation 4 first came out, it had the Blu-ray drives, and you couldn't play movies using the Blu-ray drive without having to download a patch and update your system so you could use a physical feature on your hardware. Either that, or you could call the 1-800 number provided by Sony, and they could send you a disc that had the patch on it. The point is, they shouldn't have to do that. That's ridiculous. The console should work 100% outside the box. There's no excuse. The only thing you shouldn't be able to do is online. And that's because, you know, people have different online, you know, services and stuff. So if that doesn't work, that should be on the end user. But Microsoft. Microsoft was literally the most egregious company in the Ace generation. They unveiled their Xbox One. They didn't focus on gaming. They were forcing people to do 24-hour check-ins, which pissed off the military. And the United States military said Microsoft was anti-military because of that policy. They were packaging the Kinect with every single console, which drove up the price $100 more. And the games that they did have, like Forza 5, they were being shipped broken, incomplete. At one point, you couldn't actually play Forza 5 at all without having to connect to the internet and download the patch to actually make the game work. Now, obviously, they fixed that, but they only partially fixed it because they made it so that you could actually play the game, but you still needed to download content off the internet just to play the deeper recesses of the career mode in Forza 5. And that's actually ridiculous. And Microsoft has no exclusives at all, unlike Nintendo and Microsoft and Sony, excuse me. They have no exclusives. All their exclusives on the PC. Where are the Microsoft fanboys there? Where are the Microsoft supporters calling out Microsoft, asking for these AAA exclusives? Because they had some, but then they moved them all over to the PC because you guys don't buy your games. Buy your freaking games, man. And you fanboys. Oh yeah, it's about time I address you fanboys. You fanboys are the worst. And I don't care what platform you're using. I don't care if you're using a Switch. I don't care if you're using a PlayStation 4, an Xbox One, the PC. I don't care if you're using a mobile phone. I don't care if you're using the little VTech Leaps or whatever the heck it is. I don't care. You guys are the worst. And you guys damage controlling for these companies, for these developers, for these publishers that make these crazy freaking decisions is stupid. And you guys are anti-gaming and anti-consumer, when you guys should be with us, the real gamers, actually advocating for gamers and gaming. Stop being fanboys. Actually, don't buy something maybe just buy it because, oh man, it's got a Microsoft logo on it, or it's got a Sony logo on it. No. Actually think critically about what your purchase means to the company. Because I can guarantee you, if a crap ton of people bought Star Wars Battlefront 2 when it first came out, there will be a lot more games with the same model of microtransactions that Star Wars Battlefront 2 had. There'll be so much. But we gotta call out these developers, or more often these publishers like EA and BioWare, who make these crappy products and try to screw us in order to get a fast buck. So when the 9th generation rolls around, well, technically it's already here because the Switch came out, but, you know, when these consoles come out, I want us gamers to actually advocate for gaming. We need to take it back, because we really even shouldn't be paying for online, really, because us paying Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo, they really don't have anything to do with our online experience except for their own little, first-party exclusives that have online capabilities. Us connecting to Infinity Ward servers or Activision servers has nothing to do with them at all. But we need to come together as gamers and actually advocate for what's good for gaming and what's good for gamers. And if a situation jumps off, I don't want to see any fanboys. And if any of you fanboys are watching this right now, feel free to leave a comment down below in this video. And we can debate live on Twitch TV. Because I am willing to destroy every single one of you fanboys. Because you really are the scum of gaming. You really are. Because I've seen you advocate to bring back things like Microsoft's original DRM. Yeah. That's ridiculous. But that's all I wanted to say. If you guys like this video, or if you dislike it, you know what to freaking do. Especially if you dislike it, leave a comment. Especially if you dislike the video. Leave a comment. Really. If you got your little bot accounts, then, do what you need to do with your bot accounts. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Happy gaming.